Picture this. It was the beginning of October, and I was getting ready for a costume party. I was Pirate Nightcrawler, so I was painting myself blue. While waiting for the paint to dry, I got really bored. So I was watching YouTube on my phone, but I didn't know what to watch. Then I get an ad for this show. It looks insane. There's bees, and there's a plane crash, and there's a guy standing on a fire truck and talking mad game like he's about to catch the plane or something. And then 911 Season 8. It looks awesome. I go to IMDb, and there's one review for the first episode, and it says, 2 stars, unrealistic. And that is a glowing review. The tagline of the season was like, B-NATO is coming, or something, and that's freaking hilarious. I start watching season 8 first, because damn it, I am not waiting 7 seasons for B-NATO. That looked crazy. Bees and a plane crash. What, did the bees hijack a plane or something? Oh my god, the bees hijack a plane. Hi, my name is Charles, and welcome to cable television. Today I am going to tell you about the first few episodes of 911 Season 8, as someone who has never seen the show and knows nothing about it. At the time of writing and filming this, I have seen Season 1 and a bit of Season 2, but by the time I'm done editing, I'll probably have seen the entire show. By the way, hi future me, how's the show? Wow, that's great. Anyways, I'm just gonna goof and gaff about this show and all the wacky shenanigans that happen in it, because this is insane, like I said. Nothing here makes sense, and I love it. I do love the show. And I think that being unrealistic and weird doesn't make it bad or unenjoyable, and this is the proof. Sorry about the long intro. On to the actual show. Okay, so the show starts with a guy flying a small one-person plane, and then he flies into a huge cloud of bees, and then he flies into another big plane because he couldn't see it. And that's how this season begins. Also, he's calling the air traffic people, and they say they can't see the bees, and I don't know about air traffic control, but large swarms like this would show up on anything that detects storms. But that's not important. This chapter was called, Who Are These People? For a reason. They go, a few days earlier, or something, and then we meet the firefighters. This isn't even all the characters. Why did I make this chapter? We are currently at a fire station, and the captain guy is yelling at everyone. I don't remember the captain's name, so I'll call him Sheriff from Cars. Apparently he is the new captain after the last one was fired, and he hates everyone, he's on a massive power trip, and he is yelling at 4 firefighters. Hen, aka Bald Girl. She is awesome, look at her, she has amazing fashion, and she's gay married. Love her. I don't remember his name. Everyone just calls him Chimney or Chim, and he is definitely the comic relief, and he is so goofy. Love him. Eddie, aka Mustache Man. He has a mustache. I love him. He's so cool that not even the sheriff can hate him, unlike our final firefighter. Buck. I'm not giving him a nickname. What could I even call him that fits more than Buck? I'm pretty sure he's the main character because he is being picked on the most, and he is also, you know, the cishet white man of the group. No offense. Anyways, Sheriff is picking on him the most, and he looks like... Okay, he looks like someone I knew in middle school, but that's not the point. He has this expression, and I can't tell if he's about to cry or if he's about to kill everyone and then himself. Just like middle school. I feel like I should hate him, but I also feel like I can't. None of this matters. I will barely talk about these characters. So there's like 3 main plots in this, so I'm going to separate this video into 3 parts. Wait, I already had one chapter. Why did I make this? A giant truck crashes on the freeway, and it turns out one of the drivers was murdered, and the other one is barely hanging on. Oh my gosh, Charlie, who murdered them? The thing in the back of the truck.
That truck was hauling 22 million killer bees.
Oh my god! So the bees try to kill these people in this car just because, I guess, and the daughter is allergic to bees, oh no! And then halfway through, the mom casually, offhandedly mentioned the little detail that she is also allergic to bees. So they stop the bees from killing people, I guess, and then the bees form like a huge swarm. And one of the guys is like, OMG, it's Bee-nado. And then, it never appears again. Yeah, Bee-nado is coming. Okay, Bee-nado is leaving now. Say bye, Nado. The bees also attack some girl who is wearing perfume, and for some reason the bees keep crawling down people's throats, even though they mentioned at the start of the episode that these bees hate the heat, and they would probably also hate being in someone's lungs. Sorry. The firefighters actually saved this girl by spraying Mustache Man with perfume and having him run around like an insane person, and it's a very funny scene, and it's made even better by the multiple shots that make it very obvious that the bees are CGI. Okay, and then, at the end of the episode, what happened at the beginning of the episode happens. And then the bees despawn. They literally just despawn, no more bees. They don't show up for the rest of the show. They de-aggroed, I guess. Okay! This cop has to transport a prisoner to LA. They're in LA, by the way. But the prisoner killed her fiancé. Yes, that is probably a conflict of interest. Yes, they explain around it. Yes, the explanation is kind of stupid. Anyways, cop lady. She is the only main character cop in the show. She kind of reminds me of my mom, and she's a cop, but also she kind of kicks ass, so I have mixed feelings about her. There's also Prisoner. I do not remember his name. He needs to testify to get a bunch of rich, powerful, evil people put in prison. Good for him, I guess. But he also killed someone, so not good for him. Okay, actually, there's a really good scene where the prisoner says that if he testifies, he'll get let out, and he wants to testify, but he'll stay in prison if cop lady wants him to. Like, okay. Who put good writing on a cable TV show? I did not come here for that. They very quickly find out that someone is following them and is trying to get Prisoner. Cop lady is actually approached by a scary man or something, and she locks him in his own car trunk. Okay, you're winning me over, cop lady. He also looks like the guys who already wanted her to bring them the prisoner, so I don't even know what. Guess what? They go on the plane. By the way, I sort of lied a little bit. The small plane doesn't crash directly into the front of the big plane. The small plane moves upward and kind of clips the front of the plane and leaves the wing stuck in the roof. And then the small plane disappears entirely. Where did it go? I know things tend to disintegrate in plane crashes, but this wasn't head-on. The body of the small plane didn't hit anything. Where did it go? That guy is totally dead. But what happened to the aircraft? Did it despawn too? Did it despawn? It despawned, didn't it? So, one of the pilots flies out the roof, and the other one passes out. So now, they are Sans pilot. So, cop lady calls traffic control, and they help her fly the plane. There's also this child who has played Microsoft Flight Simulator or something, and he also helps fly the plane. Well, okay. He seems to know everything ever about planes, so I'll give this plot point a pass. Also turns out that their turning thing was damaged, so they can't even turn to land at the LAX airport. Also, I feel like I should mention, there's a huge hole in the windshield for this entire ordeal, and it does not affect anyone at all. This plane crash lasts 2 episodes. Oh, and at the end of the first episode, the pilot wakes up, and they're like, thank goodness, you can fly the plane now. And then the pilot immediately has a heart attack, and they spend the entire next episode doing CPR on him. But that's where this story intersects with the third one. Welcome to the character plot, where the characters do stuff. There's kind of a lot of people here. So, Sheriff is the new firefighter captain, and he hates all the firefighters, except Mustache Man, because they have the same mustache, I guess. But he especially hates Buck, because Buck is an argumentative little shit. Buck keeps coming up with all these creative ideas to save people from the bees, because he's the main character, and Sheriff is always like, quick thinking, Buckley! Kill your... At the end of the first episode, Sheriff is yelling at everyone, and then he randomly starts delivering an evil monologue at Buck, like he's Pulitzer from Newsies or something, and just then, a saw blade flies in at Sheriff, and Jack Kelly over here tackles him and saves his life, but also Sheriff hit his head really hard, so he goes to the hospital, and Buck is like, oh my god, I killed him, and everyone else is like, LOL, you killed him. Nobody else cares. Oh, unrelated. But Mustache Man has a plotline in this episode, kind of, I think. It's his son's birthday, but his son doesn't live with him, I guess. And they do a Zoom call, and they literally put up like one streamer, and Mustache Man's kid hates it so much that the call buffers. Live Mustache Man's kid reaction. Wait a minute. It took me like 5 rewatches to realize there's another man here? Who is this guy? Why does he look exactly like Buck? Why is he trying to flirt with Buck over his $1 dollar store party hat? He never appears again. He was probably killed for trying to flirt with the cishet main character. Actually, Buck looks genuinely flattered in this scene. Let me guess. Common by headcanon in the fandom. Hello 911 fandom that probably exists. Your show is very fun. I am making fun of it, but I am having a good time. You know, maybe there is no cishet white man. Oh wait! So this is the old firefighter captain. I will call him Captain, or Cap. That's what they call him in season 1. It's just so easy to just call him Cap. He's married to Cop Lady. Cap and Cop. Sorry. I don't know why he lost his job, but he did. And now he's fact-checking a cable firefighter TV show. He keeps going, well, actually, that's unrealistic. And everyone else is like, yeah, but it's a TV show. It's cooler if we do it this way. And I'm assuming that this part of the show is either here to, like, make fun of people who call the show unrealistic, or just say, hey, listen, we know the show is unrealistic, but it's cooler this way. Either way, that's petty, kind of cringe, and I love it so much. Anyway, that kid Buck shows up on set, and he's like, dude, your wife is flying a plane. And Cap is like, this I gotta see. And so they steal the prop fire truck for the show, and then they learn that the plane can't land at LAX, and they're like, what do we do? Oh my god, the freeway! They stop traffic on one side of the freeway, and then Cap is like, hey Buck, can you go and stop the other side? And Buck is like, haha, yeah. And then steals a motorcycle. I did not know he could motorcycle. And then he stands in traffic, waving little glow sticks while wearing black at night. Cause I guess he wants to die, or he is stupid? I'm kidding. He's very obviously written for jockmen who think they're way cooler than they actually are. Sorry, everyone. When did he learn to motorcycle? I'm gonna assume this ability was pre-established, but I did not expect that. Anyways, this somehow works, and they land the plane, and it almost hits Cap, of course. Now kiss. And then the plane lights on fire. Why not? This is a firefighter show. We gotta have fire. Everyone escapes, except Cop Lady, because she is busy doing CPR on that pilot from earlier. Still. Also, I've taken a CPR class before, and I'm pretty sure she's doing it wrong. So they all live, but now they need to go find this book with all these names of evil, rich, powerful people. So they find it, and then the villain who's been trying to kill the prisoner appears. Oh no, who is he? Is he one of the agent dudes who's been freaking out for the last 2 episodes because they couldn't find the prisoner? Yeah, obviously. This guy is not intimidating. No offense, but I have seen Spencer Reid Criminal Minds be more intimidating. They defeat him, and prisoner saves Cop Lady's husband, so she forgives him for killing her fiancé. Great. Also, the sheriff comes back after dying and is like, hey, Buckley, the one who keeps crying, the one who killed me, you're my son now. Do not resist. And then they all lived happily ever after. Hooray! No, not really. I mean, yeah, this was camp as hell. There were 100,000 mistakes here, it's not even remotely realistic, and a secret third critique that I couldn't think of. But that doesn't make the show bad, it just kind of makes me really like it. Okay, listen. Things about the show so far that I disliked. The dialogue was kind of unnatural. The villain was not that intimidating. There's this guy on the plane who's kind of completely insufferable and becomes not insufferable through the power of almost dying. I don't know. Oh, and barely any B-NATO. Things about the show that I liked. All the characters were super fun, even the ones who got limited screen time. My two favorites so far are the $1 dollar store party hat guy and the one who said the B line. I also like the sheriff. He's a jerk, but in such a funny way that I cannot hate him. I like Cap's unwavering lack of fear at any point in time ever, even when there's a plane headed towards his face. I like Buck very clearly wanting to hurt the sheriff guy, but then being the only one upset when he actually does. Also, bald girl dancing. She's awesome. The prisoner revealing that he's never shanked anyone before, and at the end he shanks the villain and he's like, I shanked someone! That was very cute. And this whole B premise is so weird and creative that it's amazing. Listen, if the plane crashed for a normal reason, nobody would care. Bees crashing the plane? That's wild. That's new. That's funky fresh. Don't let me say that. Also, after watching these episodes and the first season of the show, I realize it's not about the bees. It's not about the plane crash. It's not about that lady's perfume. It's about the characters. Everything I listed and things I liked were about the characters. And the characters are damn great. I was captivated by what I'd seen from these 3 episodes. It really made me want to know more about everyone. Like, what happened to Athena's fiancé that the prisoner killed? Why did Bobby lose his job? Why did Hen and Karen lose their foster license? Why does Eddie's son hate him? Who was that guy who flirted with Buck? Why does Buck do the stupidest thing possible? What's Gerard's damn problem? Who's Michael? Does Michael die? He dies, doesn't he? These characters are what inspired me to watch the show from the beginning. Okay, that and the knowledge that the writers do insane shit like this sometimes. Anyways, I'm watching from the beginning, and so far... Okay, well, I don't like the first season. Abby is weird. I don't want her to be the main character. I started season 2, and it's much better. Because she isn't there. I like the show, is what I'm saying. And I also got a lot of answers to my previous questions. For example, Buck is just like that? I'm scared. Oh yeah, I watched episode 4. Episode 4 is about emotions, and it's what made me really want to watch the show from the beginning. Basically, there's this councilwoman running for mayor, and she has been the one ruining everyone's life this whole time. It's her fault Cap was fired, and Sheriff replaced him, and Bald Girl lost her foster license, and she's probably the reason Mustache Man's kid hates him. Apparently, her kid died, and this specific station tried to save him, but couldn't. So now she decides to run for mayor, and immediately has a very public feud with a bunch of firefighters who are respected and beloved. Girl, you are not winning. Also, she has Bellwether's Utopia energy. Also, Sheriff takes Buck golfing and randomly starts ranting about snowflakes, which this guy totally isn't. He's only the guy who's been crying nonstop for 3 episodes. And then he mentions that the snowflakes are the reason he lost his house? You don't understand, Buckley. The woke mob took my house! Buckley, the woke mob cancelled House MD! Anyways, they defeat fake Bellwether the same way they defeated real Bellwether. They play a video of her being evil in court. And Sheriff was in on it, I guess. And now Cap is an actual captain now. How is this stupid and great at the same time? I feel like I'm losing my gay little mind. And then I went to watch the next episode, but cop lady said Sigma, unironically, so in the first few minutes, so I gave up. And then I was like, haha, next episode! Was it 6? Yeah, I think it's 6. It begins with $1 dollar store party hat guy? Oh my goodness, yo! He and Buck are hanging out in a way that I genuinely can't tell if it's a date or not. Like, they mention it's their 6-month anniversary. But then the guy gives Buck sports game tickets and acts like the second ticket wouldn't be for him. Girl, queerbait has really evolved lately. Like, they're joke flirting, right? Because they're friends. They're straight and they're friends. Yeah, some girl is flirting with Buck. This isn't a date. Oh, that other dude is gay and Buck didn't know that. He would know that if they were dating. He would. If they were dating. That'd be crazy. This is cable TV. Buck is the cishet white main character. The main character of a cable show is always... Wait, they have the same ex-girlfriend? Oh my god, Taste by Sabrina Carpenter real? Wait, hang on a second. I've been played for a fool. Wait. So they were dating. They are dating. The main character of this cable TV show is dating a man. This guy, the one who spent the first season being the straight guy, he is bisexual. Oh my god, there was no cishet white man character, was there? I mean, Cap, but like, there was no cishet white man character, was there? Y'all, I'm losing my mind. I said that guy was written for jock men who think they're way cooler than they actually are. Guys, he was written for me. I need a minute. I need a minute. So, yeah, I messed up. How did he not know his boyfriend was gay? Oh yeah, the guy, the $1 dollar store party hat guy. His name is Tommy Kinnard? I think that's how it's pronounced. He dates Evan Buckley, who is the main character, and a man. Sorry, I'm still not over that. And he's a pilot, I think. Wait, so why didn't he stop the plane?